today we have a great specialist. Angelina, please tell us about yourself. You can start.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Hi everyone, my name is Angelina. I work, as Dara told, as the senior mobile QA engineer at Bolt. So I've been working as a QA engineer for almost 4 years for now. My main technology stack is related to mobile testing. I work both as a manual tester and as an automation tester. My stack for automation is Espresso for Android and language is Kotlin.
Oh, great. You're really great specialist, and your experience is really shock and surprise for junior. And we have today an important topic and question. And we have question for talking. It's about mobile testing, what do you can say about stereotype about mobile testing?
Actually, first I would like to ask you and Simbat, you also, because first it's interesting for me to hear what you are thinking about it, and then I will tell my opinion, if it's okay.
Okay, it's okay.
Then let's start.
Okay, hello, my name is Simbat. I am 21 years old. I graduated college in about IT specialization in 2021 year. So I'm working in marketing assistant right now, but I really interesting about QA. So I'm learning about it and watching YouTube video. When I learning in college, I have a practice about QA about 2 weeks. So I want to be working in QA.
That's cool.
Great, thank you, Simbat, for your answer. And sorry, I'm little nervous and I forget ask Simbat. Okay, maybe I can ask now about stereotype about mobile testing, and we can start for talking.
You want to ask who?
You can, Angelina, you can start talking about the topic, and later I ask Simbat what she thinks about your say.
Yeah, okay. Well, actually, from my perspective, I haven't heard much stereotypes about like mobile testing. About testing generally, yes, like loads of stereotypes. But about mobile, what I've heard is that it's extra difficult, like extremely difficult. I remember in my first job, it happened that our company had different head offices in different cities, and in my city I was the only mobile QA engineer, and other engineers who wasn't mobile, they were saying to me like, oh my god, you're so brave, it's so difficult, I hate testing mobile. And I was like, it's just, I don't know, it's simple. So yeah, that's what I've heard, that it's extremely difficult because of some extra technologies, because some of the environment that we are using is quite like difficult to set up maybe, or sometimes it gives us some troubles that we need to solve. But yeah, besides that, I think that stereotypes about mobile testing are just the same as for normal testing, that the testing itself is quite easy, that you don't need to know quite a lot to start, though of course it's not like that, that you're just, a monkey tester who just takes the phone and just taps something, oh my god, it's working. It's just a work of a dream and something like that. So yeah, and what are you guys thinking about it? Maybe you heard something.
If honest, I beginner engineer quality assurance, and I think mobile testing is really difficult. And what about stereotype? I I think I don't hear about stereotype because mobile testing just difficult. It's but actually I hear more people say about mobile testing. It's boring, and you have to have more time for testing for mobile, and you need a more smartphone for testing, and it's also difficult. But that's all what I say. Maybe Simbat, what do you think about it?
About QA, I watching a lot of meme about QA, about this developer every time hated QA because if a developer doing something very well, QA after says QA портит настроение, как бы вот такие. And I listen about every manual QA want to be an automatization QA. Is it really?
We talking about stereotype about mobile testing. What you can say? What do you can say about only mobile? Maybe you know.
But I don't know because I'm only interesting and I beginning about QA, so I watching only developer hated every time QA. Only this meme watching every time.
I think it's fun. We can talk also about these kind of stereotypes because first, what I heard this question about is every manual QA wants to be an automator? The answer is no, and you must not be an automator if you are not interested in it, because there are a lot of ways to grow besides automation, because automation is just a tool. So there is a stereotype for sure, it's true, and there are a lot of jobs for automators, it's true, but still it doesn't mean that you have to go there if you don't want to. And about developers who hate QAs, I don't know, I've never met such developers, because honestly, developers I've been working with, they all are just adorable. Of course, they sometimes hate me, as a joke when I report dozens of bugs. Yes, of course, but it's just, an element of joke, oh my god, again, you have reported this. Can we say swear words? I think we don't. Yeah, okay. You have reported a lot of bugs. You're a bad person, and I'm yes, that's my job. Always welcome. So I think it depends on the team and on people a lot, but I've never met such toxic developers, luckily. And I hope that you girls also won't meet such developers.
Thank you.
Thank you for your answer. Also, my husband is developer Java, and sometimes he say me, QA engineer, I love they so much for their works, and he is joking because you have more working after working of testing. He как это сказать, разгребает таски в джире после работы тестировщиков. But I think it's really just meme and just a joke, and in real developer and testing have a good relationship. Okay, we can start next to second question, and difficult in learning mobile testing. I know Simbat, you beginner quality engineer, and yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and maybe I can say how, but I'm beginner quality engineer in mobile application, and it's really difficult because you have to know about Android, iOS, and system, and different version, and you have to know about more. How say you have to more about know about different tools, and but it's so interesting, and I know I want listen what you say, Angelina.
Oh, okay. Well, about difficulties, from my point of view, the main difficulty, again, is related not just to mobile testing, but to any testing, that it's hard sometimes to find a worthy documentation, because yes, of course, we have official Android and iOS documentation, but let's say the truth, if you don't know English, for example, and a lot of beginners, not a lot of, okay, but some beginners don't know English on such a good level, it's hard for you to read documentation. Also, if you are not well experienced, also sometimes when you are a beginner, it's really hard to read such documentation. I remember myself, I've read it when I was junior. It was a hell. So yeah, sometimes it's hard to find good resources, good, I don't know, lessons, whatever. Also, as an automator, I want to say, mobile automator, it's extremely hard to find worthy information if you learn automation on Espresso, because again, it's not so widespread. Like we have web automation and a lot of web automator, web test automator guys, and I mean, there are much more articles on it, much more videos, tutorials, whatever on it, where you can learn. But when I started to learn mobile automation, again, it was really difficult for me, because only English language resources, not of them are really nice. And again, they are quite, how to say, well, they give you basics, but I was working on a real project that time, and I had a real complicated big mobile application with its difficulties, and this information, it was just not enough for me, so I had to dig deeper myself. I had to ask developers, so I had to spend really a lot of time just to find good information that helped me. So I would say that the main problem is it with quality of of resources that we are using.
And now, how you feelings now? Yeah, I mean, you work still so difficult, but maybe you have still more, как это сказать, сложностей, не знаю, как сказать. То есть все еще твоя работа все еще как-то сложная, то есть, может быть, чуть попроще. Я просто не знаю, как сказать. Do you have more, как это сказать, сложности, не знаю, не могу перефразировать. Difficult, okay. Do you have now and still more difficulties in your work?
Not such difficulties, because yeah, when you learn, you grow, of course. I mean, there are always difficulties. They're just different because when you start, you have to learn and you have to find good information. When you are experienced QA, you have to just dig deeper into technologies, and not every technology is really easy. And in this case, you have to just understand what you don't understand for now. So I would say anyway, yes, I have difficulties. They're just different because different processes, different team, different companies. You have to get used to some peculiarities that each place has.
Okay, and I have one question. If I correctly understand you, you say more information resource for mobile in English language and English website, yeah?
Yes, because first of all, what you are looking at is official documentation. I mean, it's basics. What is the best to learn Android? It's to open Android documentation, but of course it's in English. It's not fully translated or not translated at all. I don't remember because like mine, it's okay for me to read English, so I read it in English. But I know from other QAs who I'm working with, who are, for example, middle, junior, and who didn't know English at that time, it was difficult for them to read it.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Sambat, maybe you do you want to say something about what say Angelina?
Maybe any questions, concerns, anything?
Thank you.
I don't know any question right now because you say this is a great words and it's really good. So I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
Thank you. Maybe Sambat, do you want to say what you're planning in the future? I mean about quality assurance, and maybe you want something. You don't understand what?
How many months you're looking your first job in QA? How many times?
You ask Angelina, yeah?
Yes.
Well, short answer is 2 weeks. Long answer, it was 4 years ago. So, I mean, these IT wasn't yet so popular at that time, so I started learning not even 4 years ago. 4 years ago I found my job, but I started learning 5 years ago. So I just slowly, calmly read тестирование.com, wrote by Sam. I read Kulikov, I read some articles in Harbor and resources like that. I passed some courses. At that time there was no Geekbrains, so not an ad, just a disclaimer, it's not an ad, everything here is not an ad, we just share our experience. So yeah, by that time no popular education platforms, they weren't so popular yet. So at that time I just I just learned where I could, where it was okay for me to learn, and I found my first job in 2 weeks. And also I have to say it was in Novosibirsk, not in Moscow, not in St. Petersburg. So yeah.
Can I ask you, but I don't know in English, in Russian this.
Yeah, you can. I can help you to say it in English.
Когда вы принимаете сотрудников, вот после HR разговаривают уже со стороны компании, то есть сотрудник кто-то из тестировщика. И на какие навыки вы обращаете внимание при найме?
It depends on company. First of all, it also depends on how to say, current job position. Because, like, for example, I had a case when we needed a QA engineer in my team, and I was ready to mentor him. So I was ready to take a junior with no experience. It was fine for me. So yeah, in this case, we opened such job position for junior QA with no experience. But also, and of course, the qualities were just, interest in QA, basic knowledges, like, ISTQB, Kulikov, whatever, like all the basics of test engineers of QA, I would say. This person had to know it, of course, and like basic practical skills, like, I don't know, you don't have to have experience to take any website or any mobile applications that you use and just for yourself to practice. It's quite easy. If you do it, okay, it's fine. So yeah, these were the qualities that we were paying attention. But there was other case where we had to have a specialist who would come and immediately start working, like, with no extra education. So in this case, of course, junior wasn't fine, but it's not because all juniors don't know anything and it's really bad for us. It's just in our case, we had like an increasing speed of developing, and we wanted someone who just starts working and giving the results as fast as possible. So in this case, of course, we paid attention on experience, we paid attention on skills, like we gave some test tasks to evaluate the skills of this person. So it really varies from company, from its values, and from the current position itself, and from the team requirements too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, new guys, I see that there are new joiners here.
Hello, ребята, я должна вас предупредить, что эта запись у нас записывается, все те, кто присоединился к нам сейчас, поэтому, вы, наверное, это видели в посте, но еще раз вас предупрежу об этом. And Kozik Korpish and Olesya, I'm glad to see you, and can you tell about yourself for us a little bit? Олеся? Олеся, вас не слышно. Угу. Алло. Окей, Kozik Korpish, you can start. Олеся, вы можете пока разобраться с микрофоном.
Привет, а вы слышите сейчас?
Так, хорошо. Олеся?
Да.
You can start.
Вот. Я с английским плохо, не знаю, если так на русском еще раз.
Мы здесь на английском стараемся говорить, да, и говори как можешь.
Совсем не могу. Я так понимаю чуть-чуть.
Окей.
Я вообще думала, что это будет семинар какой-то, вроде как семинара общие моменты, а тут такая... Вы просто поболтать, да, решили?
Нет, у нас запись встречи, она пойдет на YouTube, но ты можешь послушать. Просто мы сейчас записываем и болтаем, вот, поэтому если ты хочешь, ты можешь послушать.
Да, спасибо.
Супер, отлично. Kozik Korpish, you can start. Tell about yourself for us.
About me?
Yeah.
I'm quality assurance engineer, and I have experience for 3 years. Yes, 3 years, and I'm my specific manual testing, but I study Java to to так to be automation testing. Мне тоже немножко сложновато на английском донести свои мысли.
It's fine. You're doing good.
Please relax. You can say about your project where you work now. You are mobile testing, yes? Tester.
Yes, mobile native application, and I'm using Charlie's proxy for debug, Android Studio, Xcode, and I'm download to Firebase test version application. Вроде все.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Great. And I want to repeat about Lina. Lina, in IT science, 2019 years, and senior mobile testing. Sorry, you want correct me?
No, just for you.
Just for you. Okay, just for years. Senior mobile testing works in European project. She trains specialists from junior to senior, but the automation process on the project from scratch. She, as mobile QA, currently work in both Germany office, and we can start to next. Sorry. Third question. And what you need to know to find your first job? I can start. What I know about, it's really base Kulikov and Savin, and what about it and about version more smartphone, and testing and theory of testing, and you have to know about more tools, for example, Charlie's Android Studio, Xcode, and you track for bug tracking, Jira, and case for writing test case or other testing documentation. And guys, maybe you want to say something, Simbat. Maybe you want. You, Simbat, do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Question is what you need to know to find you first. Maybe you guess. Maybe you guess what you have to know.
I think if you need to be a QA, you need to CV, the best CV, and after your pet experience, because if you have some experience, maybe and company give you offers faster than another person.
I mean maybe about как-то материал, books and articles and platforms for learning quality assurance theory and practice. I can ask Angelina.
Yeah, okay. Well, if we're talking about junior mobile QA, of course I won't. Okay, I will say about it. Of course, you have to know basics of testing, just how to write test cases, what is what is bug report, what is checklist, what is test case, what are different types of testing, and blah blah blah. Because it's just basic, as I told you. When you're working, of course, you won't think, okay, now I'm doing functional testing, or right now I'm using these techniques to write tests. Of course not, but when you know it, you just do it. I know it sounds strange, but when you know these basics, it's like with a house. You have these fundament, and if you don't have it built properly, your house will just get ruined. If your fundament is done well, in this case, your house will stay long enough. Here's the same. You have to know basics. Then you have to know some basic knowledges about mobile testing. What I mean about different peculiarities of mobile testing that, of course, that, for example, you have to remember when you test mobile application, and that you don't need to do this when you test web application. You have to know, of course, about Android and iOS, simple basic things. You don't need, as a junior, to dig deeper, but you have to know what are the latest versions, what are the new features in this version that can affect testing. You have to know just what types of mobile applications there are, like native, cross-platform, like React Native or Flutter, etc. About different states of mobile application, like opened, foreground, background, closed. It's also just basics. How to test pushes, for example. So just some tests that you can do even without, diving deep into technologies. Of course, yes, you also have to know some software like chars, like Android Studio, Xcode, and again, Android Studio and Xcode, they are like really, they have a lot of features, but as a junior test engineer, you have to know how emulators work, for example, how to launch it, how to set it up, how to read logs there. These are the main things, I would say. And Postman, Jira, Case, or similar software, of course, is also a must-have.
Okay, thank you, Angelina. I want to ask Kozi Karpesh what you think about, Angelina, you mobile tester, and I want to ask you.
I would like to add to junior position and now how work backend. This is a request response, body headers, and how work net, different nets and different between requests, put, patch, post, delete, but
Question is what you need to know to find your first job. I mean, it's maybe a base theory and tools for mobile for first step in mobile profession. this question?
I would say that it's quite relevant comment, because even if you're a junior mobile QA, I mean, how can you test something properly using charts if you don't know what is API, how the client-server architecture works, and all of that? So I think, yes, it's quite relevant even to junior.
I study before first job. I study programming language PHP, and I know how work backend. And in interview, I talk about backend very more, and вы же спрашиваете, какие навыки имел я имел перед первой работой, да?
Ну, то есть, что нужно знать, чтобы найти первую работу? Вот, об этом. То есть, инструменты, теории, может быть, что-то ты можешь сказать. Да. И вот что ты думаешь о том, что говорила Ангелина? Вот так же, если у тебя есть что-то добавить.
When I passed the interview, many questions about for client-server architecture.
Okay, only client server, you mean?
Большинство вопросов. Большинство вопросов.
Okay.
More questions about how work API, and request response. What is it, server, and how communications client with server and database, and the simple SQL requests.
Okay, understand. Okay.
В моей практике очень много у меня спрашивали про бэкэнд почему-то.
More company different, and I want to say, короче, компании рознь. Я это хотела сказать, сори, что сказала на русском. Okay, thank you for your answer. It's really important. And Angelina, maybe you can say general, как сказать, вывод about what base theory base and instrumental base, what junior have to know for junior position for mobile testing.
Yeah, well, again, I agree with you that different companies have different requests. So yeah, in some companies they don't even ask you about SQL or even peculiarities of mobile testing. In some companies, yes, they will definitely ask you. I'm saying it because when I was a junior, they didn't ask me in the interviews about mobile. They just asked me about basics of testing. But here I am, a mobile QA engineer. So yeah, what you have to know is basics of testing itself. I mean, the theory of testing, the test design patterns, the types of testing, the types of test documentation, the processes like Agile, Scrum, blah blah blah. Maybe I even forgot something, but yes, you have to know this, of course. As Kozy Korpesh told correctly, it's the knowledge of API, it's the knowledge, again, basic, you just know the structure of request of response, basic methods like get, post, put, for example, how client-server architecture works. Also types of data that can be shared. And if you are talking about mobile specific knowledges, these are knowledges about types of mobile applications. These are knowledges about types of state of mobile application, like, as I told, foreground, background, closed. There are knowledges about peculiarities of mobile testing, like the calls, SMS stuff, push notifications, etc., iOS, Android versions. Of course, there are much more. I just don't want to talk about all of them right now. Also, there are knowledges about tools like charts, like Postman, like Android Studio. Xcode is okay, but if you know Android Studio, sometimes it's enough. And again, in Android Studio, you don't need to know everything, since it's for developer. First of all, it's good if you know how to read logs. It's good if you know how to use terminal. It's good if you know how to set up and launch the emulator. Of course, it's good if you know how to use Git, but we can leave it. You may not know it. These are the main knowledges, the main topics that you need to know.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer. It's really important what you say. What about Git? In last time I'm, как сказать, чаще слышу, чаще hear.
You hear often.
Hear open, как?
Often, часто.
Да, yeah. In last time I often hear about GitHub. This tools really need for quality assurance, and really. Okay, we can start to next question. It's ways to develop a mobile tester from 0 to 2 years. If you don't understand what I say, please tell me.
I think it's good to hear from guys first of all, and then I can tell my opinion in my experience.
Okay, you can start, and later I asking guys. I will ask guys.
Vice versa. First guys, then me.
Okay. Sorry, I don't understand. I think it's difficult. I think a difficult question, and because I want now ask you, but later ask guys. Because ways to develop a mobile tester from 0 to 2 years. No?
I got the question. Okay, if you want, I can start. It's just interesting to hear from other people as well. Okay, again, in this case, there aren't much differences about mobile technologies, because if you are a QA engineer, it doesn't matter which software you're working with, whether it's web or mobile or desktop or just backend, because you always first can grow from junior to senior. Maybe you can go to tech lead if it's interesting for you to become the lead of the team. Also, you can go to automation. in my opinion, automation is a tool. It's not about growth, but it's about growth, but technological growth, not the hierarchical growth. But still, if you are interested in test automation, yeah, please, you can go to test automation again, go from junior to senior to tech lead. Maybe you can become, I don't know if it's possible to say this is an architect, but still, if you're interested, you can go to companies that needs the build of test automation from scratch, and you can do it. It's an extra bonus for your experience. Yeah, and also, of course, you always can switch areas later. If you're interested in development, you can go to development. If you're interested in being project manager, you can go to project management, but still, yeah, there are quite a lot of ways to develop. But first way is, of course, go up from junior to senior. So yeah, guys, what do you think about it? Maybe you have your own opinion, experience, thoughts, whatever.
Simbat, maybe you want to say something about it.
Angelina said it's really great, because if people started junior QA after manual QA, after these people how want to be, he working in this job what he wants. If he wants to change it career another, it's okay. But if person want to be only doing one job for and the hierarchy grow up, it's still okay, I think.
Thank you.
Kozi Korpish.
Way of development?
Question is ways. Angelina said us about ways to grow up mobile tester from 0 to years old. It's about ways grow up when you not experienced, and you have when you have 2 years experience. Yeah, maybe you have a question, and maybe you think, and maybe you want to say something. Want to say something? If you understand what I say.
After manual testing began to automation. Yes.
Как сказать? In general, в общем, in general. No, not only automated. Angelina say about automated now grow up in hierarchy to up. If you want learning automation, yeah. No?
Guys, I mean, like what I said, it's not, the absolute right opinion. It's just my opinion. If you have your opinion, you're welcome to say it. It's not that if I said it, it's correct. No, of course not. We can discuss about it. We can listen to different opinions. So if Kozi Korpish, for example, thinks that it's the next step of like automation, okay, we can discuss this opinion too. So yeah, we are just talking about what we are thinking is a career growth for QA engineer.
Oh, sorry.
I think.
Okay.
I think after to the manual testing, how QA engineer can write test cases and test case and apply test technique design on high level. I think переходить to automation because or manager position if this company big and some vertical teams, test manager, test lead, but I think automation because very a lot of vacancies required automation QA. Вы меня поняли, да?
Yeah. It's fine. Thank you for your opinion.
That's all.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much for your opinion. Okay, guys, we finished talking about all questions. All questions, and maybe you want say something, and maybe you have questions for Angelina. You can ask her. Sambat, maybe you want.
I asking my question when we started this translation, so right now I don't know any question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Kozik Korpish. Maybe you have.
Angelina, how you think? What programming language for mobile testing and the tools Appium or Express XY test?
Oh, it's a battle, you know. Well, let's say like that. It really depends on the need of projects because okay, both tools have advantages and disadvantages. My opinion is that if it's possible to use native tools like Espresso and XC tests, then of course it's better to use native tools because I mean they are native, they are made to automate native platforms. Appium is good and it absolutely has its advantages, but still it has some disadvantages because it's not, you know, how to say, when it's working for both platforms, sometimes there can be difficulties in implementing tests. Okay, let me rephrase it because I don't like how it sounds right now. Well, yeah, first part is yes, that if it's possible for you to use native tools, of course it's better to use native tools. If you value speed over like native instruments, then it's better to use Appium because it's faster, like you can develop in parallel for both platforms. And only when you selected the tool, I mean Express XC test or via Appium, only then you can select language, because I'm sure you know that Espresso, for example, works only with Kotlin and Java, while Appium work with lots of languages like Python, Java, Kotlin, of course, yes. I think even Ruby, PHP. So the list is really quite huge. So when you decided on the technology, I mean on the framework, you can choose any language that you like. Like in my case, I automate using Espresso and Kotlin.
Okay. Good answer.
So sounds interesting. So interesting. Okay.
Thank you.
We have to finish this meeting, and guys, it was a great meeting. I'm very glad you came here, and I'm glad to see you, everyone. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.